haven't got the energy to dance.
Mr. George Roger Boaty. 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 Look at his face and remember his name. Mr. George Roger Boaty. Mr. George Roger. Mr. George Roger Boaty. Mr. George Roger Boaty is his name. Mr. George Roger Boaty. Mr. George Roger Boaty. Mr. George Roger Boaty. Oh, it's Mr. George Roger Boaty. Roger Boaty. Don't forget his name. Mr. George Roger Boaty.
Hello, my lovelies. I am absolutely shattered. Absolutely shattered. Gosh, what a night it's been. Oh, dearie me. Anyway, how are you guys? I hope you've had a good, what day is it? Saturday, isn't it? Hope you've had... Oh, dear. I hope you've had a good Saturday. I'm sorry, I'm just reading the comments here. Oh, hello. I'm being pinged already. Cheers, my loves, and happy midnight, Saturday, Sunday, whatever the hell this is. I've lost track. I don't care. I've lost the wheel. Oh God. Oh, I just want to eat and sleep, and I'd like to sleep for about a day, actually. A nice 24-hour sleep and be woken up with a nice coffee, a glass of really good apple juice, a bacon sandwich, and a naked Claudia Winkleman holding a glass bottle of HP sauce. Never know my luck tomorrow morning, eh? Good evening, Jimmy and Trace and TP and Roger Boaty and KKC and Black Lines. I subscribed to your channel today, Black Lines. I hadn't realised that you had a channel. Otherwise, I would have been pushing it because you're here supporting me all the time. So that's it. You are now a community channel, and I have subscribed. But I haven't had a chance to actually watch any of them yet. But I will. My God, I will. I might have a watch fest on the train on Monday. Oh, lots to talk about on Monday coming up. No, the MGF hasn't broken down. Oh, 5-minute advert, 6 minutes. Oh. Evening, Mike. 2 adverts, I'm taking the piss. Simone's off to sleep in a bit, and yeah, it is rather late, Simone, and I'll be off myself any day. I'm absolutely cake-uffed. I almost said a bad word then. I almost said the word fucked, and that'd be completely wrong of me. Oh, Ivor's with us as well, Mr. Spotty Boaty. Yeah, a few pence from the pain of these ads, a few fractions of pence, but it'll all add up. And, you know, by the time you've all suffered the pain of those adverts over the space of a month, I could earn, well, you know, upwards of 30p, which, like a prostitute's pants, is not to be sniffed at. I've never said that one before. I must remember that. Remind me. Get yourself to bed, bro. No, I'm going to do the half hour. I'm going to do the half hour because I want to make sure you're all okay, and I want to tell you what's going on. I can manage half an hour. I can always manage half an hour. Oh, no worries, Matt. I don't mind you pinging. Oh, Liz is here. Fabulous. Gosh, 17 of you at this time of night. Oh, Gopi! Gopi! Hello, Gopi! No, hang on. Let me remember this. Right, I've got my hands free, Gopi, so I can say namaskar. You're home already? God, I thought it might have been 2 o'clock by the time you got back. Oh, you're still in the restaurant? I'm not entirely... I abandoned them, my loves. I abandoned them and just came home. The restaurant was still half heaving when I left, and those poor guys hadn't eaten. They hadn't even started the clean down. And it's now what? It's now 7 minutes past midnight, and Mr. Gopi and no doubt Mr. Ram and Mr. Bikas and Divas and Didi, and they're all still there. Well, I am here complaining about being tired, and they're all still working and probably been there since... What time did you get in, Gopi? 1 o'clock today? Something like that? I have a look of Freddie Mercury. Well, he was a splendid looking chap, wasn't he? Bless him. What is the channel? Black Lines. Yeah, it's Black Lines. Oh, Matt's still got 2 minutes of advert left. Oh, you were all watching. Oh my God, all of the restaurant crew. Well, cheers, guys. You're very good health. I hope you get out of there before too long. Obviously, I'll see you all tomorrow. They do work hard, these guys. And when I say hard, you would not believe how hard they work. They actually... Oh, good. Thank you, Mike. They take the piss out of me because I swan in there at 5 o'clock when they've already been there for 4 hours, or if not longer. And then I just bugger about a bit while they absolutely work their arses off. I have something nice to eat, something nice to drink, and then I piss off home at about 11 or something around there. And they can be stuck there until God knows what time. So yeah, they rip the piss out of me and tell me that I'm like the ultimate boss because I have the easiest life of all of them. And that's, oh dear, stream didn't load. Another 4-minute advert to watch. Hello all, I'll be late. Matt's going to be late because he's in an advert cycle. And they're right in a way. I do have the easiest life of all of them. But the counter side of that is they are all extremely rich and I am extremely poor. Extremely poor. Barely got a pot to whittle in. Whereas they have, but I tell you what, credit where it's due. Whatever they've got, and they've got plenty, they've bloody, oh, I've been pinged again. They've earned every single penny of it. They're the hardest working people that I've ever met. And they're also absolutely the nicest. When you come to the restaurant, and I hope and trust that you all will come to the restaurant, and you meet these people, you will discover that they are the nicest, kindest, most loving, most generous and humble people that you could ever hope to meet. I adore them. I really do. And I was super lucky when they adopted me. Mia, a poor orphan, aged 40 something, and they took me under their wing. Oh, Matt, they are a great bunch at the restaurant, Matt. They're absolutely lovely. Oh, right, the pings are okay. I put up a Rover 75 video, Boaty, says Simone. Not sure if you have any hints for your problem. Your problem or the car's problem, Simone? I'll have a look at the video and I will certainly let you know if there's anything I can do. Mine didn't load either, Matt. Mine didn't. Well, the live didn't actually go live first time. We had to have a second attempt. Maybe something is up with YouTube tonight. My internet seems to be relatively decent. Oh, and Simone doesn't fancy sniffing pants. Well, fair enough. What else? Oh, 11 a.m. Sunday morning here. Oh, that reminds me. Chris Mills, my best pal from school. It's his birthday today, possibly yesterday for him now, because he's also down in Australia, down with Mr. Spotty Botty. Oh, unless Mr. Spotty Botty is Chris, but no, it isn't, because Chris is Chris on YouTube, isn't it? He's actually Chris Mills. So whenever you see this, mate, I forgot to do it on Facebook. I'm really sorry. I'm pants at birthdays and things. But a very, very, very happy birthday. I'm presuming you're the same age as me, dude. And I hope you had a great day. And here's to many more birthdays. And, you know, hopefully one either down there or up here, we'll get to actually have a drink together on a birthday or on any other occasion, really. It'd be so cool to see you again. Anybody else taking the piss out of the car? Oh no, you seem to have, oh, the other Liz is here, jolly good. They are rebranding Mustard and Boaty to Sweet FA. Yeah, we are. I noticed he finally put that video out. I mean, we did that video. I can't even remember what's in it. I don't think there's much. But we did that video so long ago, I still had hair. I mean, it was well before Christmas. Typical bloody, typical Mustard. Yeah, we are going to be reopening that channel and actually doing something with it. Probably. Allegedly. We've got plans. I've spoken to you about all the plans. Admittedly, sometimes they go awry, but we've got more in our favour this year than we did have last year, for lots and lots of reasons. Some of which are, yeah, I had hair and teeth, yeah. Some of which are logistical. So, for example, last year, Mustard was on school run duties. So we lost 2 or 3 hours of the day, like between 2 and 4 or 1:30 and 4:30, something like that, because he had to bugger off and do school run duties. Well, he doesn't have to do that now since his house move. So we're going to have more time in the day, and we've got lots of plans. There will be stuff, and we're not going to have the same target. It's not going to be Mustard and Boaty Do Cars. We're going to rebrand it, and I've already told you what it's going to be. It's going to be the doings of Mustard and Boaty, which means that we're not putting ourselves under the pressure to actually earn a profit or sell a car or do anything like that. We're just going to bugger about, basically, have a bit of fun with the caravan, have some days out. We've got all sorts planned. Obviously, you know about Mr. Vikram Rajapati, or whatever the hell the city Rover is going to be called. Anyway, Mike is up my way in 6 weeks after chemo finishes. I'm going to pop in and see Mustard. Oh dear, nearly bloody 53. Yeah. And there's a Nepali restaurant a couple of suburbs away from Mr. Spotty Botty. Would like to go and spend some dosh on some nice nosh. Well, you should. Tell me the name of the restaurant. Somebody from that restaurant is bound to be related from somebody from my Nepali community. So I'll find out who they are and I'll get you a discount. Just give me a shout. Don't freeze the wine, I won't. Anyway, Mike, I'd love to see you as well. So if it's a day when I can get up to the yard when you see Mustard, I'd love to pop up. Or you know where I am. I'm kind of on the way. Be great if you could pop in here. Mr. Rajapati, the city rover. What? TP has come up with an interesting question. And she says, What is the new car called? Now, this is the first time that anybody has mentioned this or asked that question. And, oh, it's the KKC. Good Lord. I didn't know that. Well, obviously it's been a long time since I've knocked around Mario's or Studley. So anyway, yeah, nobody has talked about the name of the car. And I've described the car as Mrs Newcar in the Facebook group. Boaty's World on Facebook, if you're not already a member. Do join there because there's stuff happening in there and you don't want to miss out. Even if you don't do anything else on Facebook, join that group. Oh, you'll send me a picture. Thank you, mate. Somebody will know somebody who owns it. It's the UK Nepali community is very tight knit. There are nationwide meetups very regularly, always on a Monday because all Nepali restaurants close on a Monday night. Anyway, the name of the car. I have referred to her, and she is a her. I checked. I thought it was going to be a he, but no, it is definitely a her. And I've referred to her as Mrs Newcar. But I'll let you into a secret. I've already named it. I have already got a name for the car and have had for a while, but I haven't told anybody. And I suppose it could change, but I've pretty much got my heart set on it. Oh, did I tell somebody? Did I mention it? Oh, yeah. Did I mention it to Rob, to Beards and Bangers? Again, in the Facebook group, I might have. But, well, you've all seen the car now, assuming that you're in the Facebook group. And you know what it is. So, good evening, Stephen Espel. So, I mean, do feel free to come up with some name suggestions, and then I'll tell you what I think my choice is. Sarah, hello. Call it Aquarius, says KKC. Why? Oh, is that some slur on the K-Series head gasket alleged issue? I think it will be absolutely fine. The lovely chap who owns it is very, very aware that you don't rev the car until the oil is at full temperature. And I think that the MGF has actually got an oil temp gauge, so you don't even have to guess. I think my name is inspired, and I think it will suit the car. Oh, it's Simonov. Oh, what car does it, asks Mike? It's a 98 MGF, Mike, non-VVC, which would actually be my preference. Yeah, I don't suppose many people would, but I actively preferred, or think I will prefer, the non-VVC engine. Couple of reasons for that. One is I like the fact that the K-Series, that all K-Series come alive over $3.5 grand. That's when they start. So that gives you the choice of short shifting and having just a relaxed cruise, which is great for economy, or getting right up there in the rev range and purposely making the thing sing and dance. And I quite like that. And obviously with VVC, you've got power kicking in throughout the rev range. And I'm quite happy with it just being in the upper rev range because it gives you those two options. But also, I understand that the non-VVC is geared taller than the VVC, and again, that would appeal to me. But anyway, Mike, that's what the card is. Oh, hello. My family has bought Rovers since the 1950s, never had a fault on one of them. Admittedly, nobody in the family ever wanted to see if they were reliable, so we've never driven any of them. Roger Boaty, you're an idiot. I didn't think anybody could make me laugh tonight when I was tired, but Roger Boaty can manage it. The restaurant is called Three Nepali in Braybrook, Melbourne, Mr. Boaty. Right, Mr. Spotty Boaty. I will get on the case tomorrow and see if we've got any familial connections. I know that some of my lot have lived in Australia and I know they've got family there. So let's see how connected we can make it, and I'll see if I can get you a discount, mate. They were always more of a cruiser, says KKC. Mine made nice noises, but not a speed merchant. Well, they're not going to be a slouch, are they, mate? I mean, Shison, my 1.6, that's a 1.6, and it's an automatic, admittedly with a manual override. And, you know, that feels quick enough. So make it a 1.8, make it a manual box. You know, it's throwing out, the non-VVC throws out 120 brake. It's not that heavy a car. So, I mean, it's not going to be slow. And whenever you've got the roof down anyway, and you're in a lower slung car with the engine just behind your head, the sensation of speed is always going to be greater, isn't it? I mean, that's part of the appeal about the car. Whatever it is or isn't, it's a mid-engined rear-wheel drive car. So that makes it, you know, it's effectively a Lamborghini Diablo. And the gear lever is very, very similar as well. So, yeah, I'm quite excited about it. If I remember reading stuff about it back in the day, which actually meant, you know, my research, being a professional car dealer, my research was reading the Sunday Times on a Sunday, well, it would be on a Sunday really, wouldn't it? And Clarkson's column. I only bought the Sunday Times for the crossword, Clarkson's column, and A.A. Gill, Adrian, bless him, R.I.P. And I'm sure I'm right in saying that Clarkson, who I implicitly believe in everything that he says, I'm sure that Clarkson was banging on about it being, in real terms, as quick as a Boxster or something of that nature. You know, in real terms, driving from A to B on normal A roads and the like. So I had a 214 SLI, complete with window held up by a shot glass and a length of wood behind the door card. Right. As I found out when I pulled into McDonald's drive-thru on the drive home with it. The main issue, says KKC, was the handling. 0 to 60 in 8.5 seconds. So yeah, you're right, quicker than most. Well, what was wrong with the handling? In theory, it should handle perfectly well. The weight distribution is there. And you see, obviously I've driven MGFs, but not in any recent past. You know, I haven't driven them since they were current, so I've long since forgotten what they were like. But I mean, the weight distribution's there and thereabouts. They're rear-wheel drive. What's the problem with the handling? As I understand it, they understeer a bit, which is probably sensible. You know, rear-wheel drive at the end of the day, you don't want it to be arse happy like like the old 911s used to be, where if you barreled into a corner a bit too quick, lifted off a bit, then before you knew it, you'd swap direction, were heading backwards into a tree, kissing your ass goodbye. Oh, Mike says, oh, Ron's with us, Ron McCulloch, lovely. It's got all the good points of a Lamborghini without being a Lamborghini. It's not Italian, says Roger Boaty. And yeah, you got a bit of a point there. Boaty, says Mike, I've not long sold my Greek restaurant I opened in Cardiff 2019 called the Athenian Tree. Oh, gosh. Oh, well, too late now, but have I been... Oh, I haven't spent much time in Cardiff recently. A couple of visits to Cardiff with Chinese Madam when she was, oh God, I can't tell you what she was doing. It was all a bit dodgy. You know, having to go to Cardiff to meet up at some random place that we weren't allowed to know where it was in advance. And then we meet up at this random place, and there are two big black cars, and she's escorted to go and sit in the back of one of these big black cars. I'm not allowed to go anywhere near them. I had to skulk around a bloody corner. Well, Madam transacted her business, and yeah, did that twice. So those are my only two visits to Cardiff in living memory. And we whizzed straight on to Swansea and to home. But Cardiff's a bit different than I remember when I was a kid. They've done it up a bit, haven't they? I did used to go to Cardiff when I was separated, married but separated. So I was actually living at the cottage in Wales. It had been the holiday cottage, but I was living there. Lived there for about 2 years, I think. But I was still working at the showrooms in Birmingham, so I was commuting from near Swansea to Birmingham and back every day, which you would think would be a long enough day anyway. But I used to nip into the casino in Swansea on the way home. Not Swansea, Cardiff. I went to the casino in Swansea once, and it was a bit bloody parochial and local. And of course, when I play blackjack, I play properly. You know, I'm an expert. I know exactly what I'm doing. And the locals got ever so bloody upset because they were not genuine gamblers, you know, and they didn't understand that you've got to play the odds on blackjack. It's the one game in the house where the odds are actually very, very slightly in your favour, depending on the exact house rules. But the odds should be, if very, very slightly in your favour, but only if you play according to the odds, which of course I do, and they didn't, and they got properly angry. So I thought, well, fuck that, I can't be arsed with that, and I started using Cardiff instead. They wallow a bit. Do they? Is that because I suppose the earlier ones were on the, whatever it was called, was it hydroelastic, hydrogas, whatever it was called at that time? I thought they had a reputation for being a bit firm. I don't know. We'll find out on Monday, won't we, my loves? And I will let you know what I think. I did enjoy mine, says KKC. It doesn't bloody sound like it. You've done nothing but badmouth it. Main issue was build quality. I'm sure yours will be sorted. Hopefully, as I say, it was recommissioned at Dewberry Firkins in Glossop. Oh, hello. Roger Boaty's butler is up to no good with the housekeeper again. Oh dear. Right. So, that restaurant sounds nice. Yeah, we should all head there. Hydroelastic until the MGTF, yeah. And I didn't realise that, Mike. I didn't realise you were of Greek heritage. I'm rather fond. Do you know, I've never actually been to Greece, I don't think, unless I was drunk, but I don't think I have. But of course, I did live in Cyprus, and I lived in the Greek side of Cyprus. Although, because of certain contacts I had, I did spend time in the Turkish side as well, heading through the Armenian mountains, which you weren't supposed to be able to do, but it's not what you know, it's who you know. Well, I didn't know them, it's who my missus knew. But there we are, there we are. Yeah, I'm very fond of the. Oh, I definitely need to visit Greece. I probably do. I'm sure it's absolutely stunning, and it's ridiculous that it's a part of you. You know, if you asked me to guess, I would have thought I'd been everywhere in Europe, but no, I've never been to the Greek islands. I'm sure I haven't. No, Cyprus is as close as I've got. Oh God, I loved Cyprus though. I really did love Cyprus. Maybe I was in the right part, but if any of you know Cyprus, I'll tell you exactly where I was. Right. I was. Oh. Oh, Roger Boaty, you're on form tonight, son, aren't you? I was conceived, says George Roger Boaty, during Mummy and Daddy's trip to Greece. They were banned from that cinema for life afterwards. Oh dear. Oh, what's this from Stephen S. Paul? Oh, Mike's father was from Athens and mother from Corfu. Okay. Oh, Ivor Spotty Botty says my father's side of the family are from Gozo, which is Stephen S. Paul. Sorry, not Stephen S. Paul. Ivor Spotty Botty, which is Gozo, pretty much my favourite place in the world. Kind of my happy place. Up until recently, i.e. the pandemic, I was spending a lot of time in Gozo, and I absolutely adore the island. I know every square centimetre of it. I would if I ever come into money, we had this conversation the other day, didn't we? About where we would live if we won the lottery, or perhaps that was on a video with Mustard, actually. But if I won the lottery or became a YouTube megastar or anything of that nature, then I would very definitely have a home in Gozo. I just adore the place. I didn't just think about moving there, I planned to move there. And a specific set of circumstances jiggered me. Because I've been chatting to a guy who was driving a bus there, English guy. And he was explaining to me that that you can live incredibly well in Gozo on a very low income. You know, he'd had a high-flying job in the UK, and it seemed bizarre that he was out there driving a bus and earning like €1,200 a month, something like that. But in Gozo, you can live like a king on €1,200 a month, or at least you could then. I don't know how things have been since the pandemic. And I'll tell you my favourite part of Gozo, although it might not be now when I next go back there. My favourite part of Gozo is Shlendi Bay. I adore Shlendi Bay. But it might be a little bit ruined now because they've knocked the Stone Crab down, the nice seafood restaurant there, and they've built another restaurant with an apartment block on top of it. I don't know how much that will have spoiled it, but if you're sitting outside St Patrick's Hotel looking forward at the bay, then you're not going to see that anyway, so it won't matter. But there you are. I just happen to adore Gozo. Oh, and you've never been there? Oh, you should go. It's stunning. What was I about to read out? Oh, Stephen S. Paul took a drive in a 77 Jag XJC V12, so it might be on its way to the shredder in the first week of February. I thought about buying it. No rust, needs some love as well as tyres. Brown with a black gut. I've owned an XJC V12, and I think that they are a fabulous vehicle. Now, they are flawed. The XJC, if you didn't know, is a two-door version of the XJ6 or XJ12, and it is a pillarless coupe, meaning that the doors don't have frames, just windows. But not just the windows in the doors, but also the little window behind the door is also retractable and is also pillarless, and there's always wind noise because the windows never ever seal properly. But I think it's a magnificently handsome car. I love the XJ6 and XJ12. I love virtually everything about it, and I thought the coupe was super handsome. So buy it. I bet you can have it for next to nothing. Oh dear, KKC. Oh, it could be yours for $1,800. We're doing some major cleaning up in the yard. Lots of Brit stuff coming up for sale and lots of weird stuff. Valletta in Malta is one of my favourite places. Valletta is obviously now the capital of Malta. Didn't used to be. It used to be Mdina. But Valletta is pretty stunning. You know, you could easily spend a day there. You could spend a good 4 hours just having a very leisurely lunch and drink in what's the name of the restaurant? Just in the square by St. Paul's. Lovely guy, the guy that owns it, and I can't remember his name or the name of the bloody restaurant. We got really friendly there. I remember getting magnificently drunk there on the night of the fireworks celebration. Oh dear me. But yeah, Valletta is absolutely lovely. The cathedral is well worth a look through, and that is where you will see the painting, The Beheading of St. John the Baptist, which is one of those paintings that when you see it in real life, you are just kind of awed by it, really awed. But yeah, Valletta is very nice, although I prefer the old capital. I prefer the walled city of Mdina, which is absolutely good. And if you ever happen to go there, you have to go to the tea rooms. Christ, I've forgotten what they're called as well. How could I forget? How could I possibly forget what the famous tea rooms in Mdina are called? How ridiculous. Oh well, never mind. Anyway, I was going to tell you about Monday, and oh yes, it's that time. I am going to bugger off fairly soon. I am a bit knackered. Oh, plenty of you watching though, and nice to see you chatting amongst yourselves. Right, but yeah, I will let you know about the car, which I do have a name for, and I don't know whether I should tell you or not. Should I tell you, in case you think it's daft, and you think I should name it something else? Or should I keep it as a surprise? I don't know. Let me know. Should I tell you the name that I've got in mind, or in my mind I've already called it that? Anyway, I'll tell you about the car. It had the work done today as planned. It's had the new bonnet cable. It's had a new battery fitted. It's had a check over. It was then taken and was had half a tank of fuel put in it, which means there should be plenty left for me. With a bit of luck and a following wind, maybe enough to get me home, although I kind of doubt that. Oh, don't freeze the wine. Yes, I won't. So it's had all of that done. I've now seen a video of the inside, so I know what it's like inside. It looks to be a fairly base spec. It's not leather, it's cloth. And I'm not sure that isn't a better option in a drop head, because, you know, if it's a really sunny day and the roof has been down and you've left the car, excuse me, then that leather's going to get scorching hot, and you might be wearing jeans. You might be wearing shorts. Excuse me. You might be wearing shorts, and hot leather are not a good mix. So, you know, maybe the cloth is preferable. And the seats are piped in green, which means that I may be on the lookout for one of those steering wheels. I've seen them that have got part green leather in them. That might look quite nice if it's going to have a kind of green theme going on. Looks like quite a loaded spec. It's got sports mirrors, by which I mean that the mirrors are manually operated rather than electrically, saving weight for maximum performance. And apparently it's all original apart from an upgraded head unit, which is a hands-free thing and looks as if it's, what do they call them? I can't remember what they call them. They call them something free. But it looks as if it hasn't got a CD player or anything. It's one of those drive-free, mechanism-free, whatever they call them. It's I suspect it's one of those cheapo Chinese import jobs, but it might do the job perfectly well. And apparently it's all plumbed into the phone and everything. So we can have a look at that. I kind of like original audio equipment in the car. And if it is a relatively low spec car, hello Carl, no, it's not the Green Goddess. If it is, if it's got that glove box lid, where the glove box lid has got 4 cassette holders built into it, then that might be enough to tip me over the edge and ditch the modern head unit and put a period correct cassette player in there. Ideally with a CD stack, but obviously the modern stereos, especially if they're all plumbed into your phone, they are a lot more convenient and a lot a lot more user friendly and whatnot. So yeah, that's that. And not much else to tell you about the interior from what I could see. The car had some fuel put in it, and then it was taken for a jolly good test drive, where it by all accounts performed faultlessly. The only issues being that there was a little bit of crap on the discs, because the car had been standing for a while, but obviously that very quickly cleaned off and the discs are absolutely fine. They have been checked. And it's got a floppy sun visor, which is neither here nor there. It's the passenger side, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm sure it's easy enough to pick up one of those. I bet Mustard's probably got one. Right, let's just have a look at the comments. Sarah would like to know the car's name. Monty the Maestro van is coming up for sale, and a few more. They will be listed on my good friend Sarah Crabtree's auction site called Evoke Classics. I've seen that. advertised on Facebook, oh, admission time. I don't know who Sarah Crabtree is, although she's obviously famous because I've seen the pictures. I'm going to sneeze now. God, I'm falling apart. So sorry. Ugh. But she's obviously a famous person, judging from the adverts and whatnot. And a jolly pleasant looking lady she is too, which is nice. But I've got no idea why she's famous or what from. Whether it's television or YouTube or OnlyFans or haven't got a clue. No cassette storage on KKCs. I have seen them though where they've got that. Now I've had a car with this and I can't remember what it was. Obviously something Austin Rovery, but the dashboard, the glove box, when you fold the glove box down, the lid has got 4 cassette slots in it. And if you had a car with that glove box, you would have to have a cassette player, wouldn't you? I mean, you just would, wouldn't you? I would. I couldn't cope. I couldn't cope with having those cassette slots and not having a cassette player. Crabbers on Bangers and Cash on TV a few years ago. Never saw it. My Audi has a drop-down sunglasses holder that sunglasses can't fit in. German humour, I guess. Well, or your sunglasses are too big. I should call it Diana, who was the green goddess on breakfast TV. I think it's only got a bit, the green piping on the seats. I don't know what, if any, other green there is, because obviously it's a silver car. But we will find out, obviously. So, it looks like it's all systems go for Monday, and it looks like the car has got a better than average chance of actually getting me home. As I said last night, my gut tells me that this is actually going to be quite a decent little car. And at the money I'm paying for it, I certainly can't complain anyway. Right, it might have that cassette storage. You were thinking of another one. Oh, could you use the cassette slots as a mobile toast rack? Well, that's a thought, but no, I'd have to use them for tape. I like cassettes. Boaty, what year is the, well, it's an F, not a TF mic. It's 98. It's 98 on an S plate. But yeah, that's what it is. It's 98 on an S. It's a 1.8. Don't know what the exact spec is. It's not a limited edition or SE or whatever the slightly posher one was called. I think it's just a bog basic car. But it has got a glass rear window, which I think is going to be a blessing. And I'm genuinely quite excited about it. I get excited about any new car anyway, especially if it's silver, which it would be, because I wouldn't be buying it if I wasn't. Nice. I think the early ones are better looking at the front. I love the front. I love that it's reminiscent of a B Roadster, and I've got a soft spot for the B, both the GT and the Roadster, because when I was a dealer, they were my bread and butter. I used to sell 30 MGBs a month. So yeah, I used to average sell 1 a day. I knew them inside out and backwards. And it was a car that I actually enjoyed driving. I was very comfortable in them. The seats went back so far. One of the few cars that I could be I'm a big lump, and I could be supremely comfortable in them. You know, obviously they had their faults. I mean, you know, you park them up in the garage in September, and when you go back in March, then you need a dustpan and brush, and you just sweep them into the bin. Oh, Black Line's off to bed. Very sensible. I should be too. Only 2 models that year, Standard and VVTi. Oh, everything else are extras. Oh, well, that's good to know. By VVTi, I guess you mean VVC. They did sell plenty. They were the best-selling. They were the best-selling rag top in the UK for a couple of years, weren't they? Oh, Roger Boaty. I'm not reading that one out. You'll have to read it for yourself. It is funny though. Right. Oh well, if there were only 2 models, there are only 2 models. We'll assess it. We'll have a look. I do like the look of it. I love that it's reminiscent of the B. But I also love that it's got the look of the RV8 about it. And I thought the RV8 was rather fabulous in a really not fabulous sort of way. And I'll tell you a true story. Before the RV8 was actually officially launched, what's his face, lovely chap, can't remember his name, but the guy from the Heritage Centre in Gaydon or whatever it was, he brought one. Oh, good night, Mike. Take care, mate. Thanks for popping in. He brought a pre-production model to the showrooms for me to have a look at, right? And I thought it had disaster written all over it, if I'm honest. I mean, I can't remember what the year was. You'll know what year the RV8 was launched. I genuinely can't remember. But, you know, it was in the 90s, wasn't it? And, you know, at that time, you've got other stuff coming out. And there's this bloody car that's obviously retro styled. And retro styling is by no means a bad thing, as was proven with the S-Type, X-Type, Beetle, Fiat 500. Any number of cars have been successful because, and of course the Rovers themselves. But they tend to be an amalgamation of retro styling with current up-to-date stuff. And the RV8 wasn't that. It had no power steering. It had no electric windows. It was just a big lump of V8 in what was effectively a slightly rebodied B chassis. And it wasn't cheap. And I mean, I kind of saw the hairy-chested appeal, but as a relatively mass-market car, I thought it had disaster written all over it, and I told the nice man as much. And I was kind of proved right and kind of proved wrong, because I mean, it was certainly a disaster in the UK, but very unexpectedly, it was incredibly popular in Japan, and that was where they all headed, and kind of then made their way to other parts of the world when the Japanese were finished playing with them. But anyway, that kind of GPS. OMG! Good morning. Oh God, it's 1 o'clock. I only meant to do half an hour. Right, so we're up to date on the car. That's where we are with it. That's what's happening. What else? Oh, shall I tell you the name? Shall I tell you the name? I'll tell you the name, the very last thing I say tonight, as a little treat for tuning in until the end. And then maybe some of you will see it and some won't, and then I won't mention it. But I'll tell you right at the end, okay? The only other thing to tell you is that I have sorted my food for the trip, which is, you know how important food is to me, and food is in my life. So obviously the packed lunch was going to be a big thing. So let me show you the route I've gone down. I've bunged these straight in the freezer because they were wholemeal sliced rolls, reduced, so I popped them straight in the freezer, and I will deploy those tomorrow to make me butties, and these will be the component parts of said butties. Excuse me, I couldn't keep that one in. Beef. I did think about actually using my own beef because I have still got some in the freezer, but it's too nice to waste on a sandwich. Do you know what I mean? So I just got some beef. Hot horseradish. I didn't buy this today, already had it. Red onion. And that will be the main symposium of my packet lunch. Oh, right. So, how many rolls do you reckon? They're quite small. I was thinking, as it's going to be a whole day thing, and I'm going to be up early, and I'm going to be out mega early by my standards. I was thinking of, you know, pushing the boat out and doing 4. What do you reckon? Oh, and a couple of bags of those. And obviously I'll make up a bottle of my favourite Vimto. And I reckon that should see me through and keep me alive. So 2 or 3 of those beef and onion rolls for my actual lunch, which I think will probably happen. Actually, I might have 1 roll as an early pre-lunch on the train from Chesterfield to London as I'm getting near St Pancras. Then my lunch, I think, judging from the timings, will be on the train from Waterloo down to Southampton. And that would leave 1 bun then to have as a tiffin or an early evening go along on the long journey back, on the long drive back. Tricky chaps words. On the long drive back home. So yeah, so that is the food situation. So that's all sorted. I've just got to make it. And I've got my little insulated bag things ready, and I've put freezer blocks in the freezer so I can keep it nice and cool. I did think about adding some pickled onions and you know, maybe something else, but I don't think I need to. I think that's enough really, isn't it? And I'm going to be sharing a car with somebody presumably, because I presume that he's going to pick me up from the station, but I presume that he's then going to need to drive back to wherever he's getting his boat, and I'll leave him there and then I'll set off. And I'm not sure how sociable it would be to share a car with somebody when you've consumed pickled onions. Or maybe that's just pickled onion flavour Monster Munch. But anyway, that's going to be the food for the journey. I forgot that it had the plumbed in stereo thing, so I might not have to take my cigarette lighter plug-in Bluetooth thing, although I will take it just in case, because we're going to do that phone call thing, remember? I'll make sure you've got the number and whatnot. And I think that is us. That's us up to speed. That's it for today. I'll be around tomorrow night, earlier, 11 o'clock. But tomorrow night, it really is only going to be half an hour, because I've got to get an early-ish night and I've got to get everything ready for the morning and make sure I've booked a taxi and all of that crap. but I will definitely be about. And there you go. Let's have a look. All of them. Nah, I can't do 6 trays. Of course there's room for a lunch in an MGF. I won't have a passenger, will I? I can go on the passenger seat. And it's got a boot. Oh, Sarah says 6 as well. GPS says do them all. I can't, no, that's... Oh, 4 was my guess as well. Yeah, 4 is reasonable. Oh, fucking hell, KKC. Don't forget to take warm clothes and a blanket in case you break down. Oh, and don't forget to take clean underwear. Oh, dear. On the way back, stop for dinner. Now, I can't do that. I can't eat that early. Because of work and my lifestyle and whatnot, I eat at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. That's my normal time. I would really struggle to eat any earlier than that. And it would cost me money. And I need to do this on a very strict budget. That's why I'm taking a packed lunch. But no, I won't be eating on the way back home, apart from possibly my emergency go-along leftover beef and onion roll. I plan to power on through and get home before, well, hopefully before 11 o'clock. Depends if I stop off anywhere. But I'll be leaving time that if I am knackered, and bear in mind this is going to be an relatively early Monday morning start after a weekend of work. So if I am, you know when you get that proper tiredness when you're fighting to keep your eyes open, but you can kill that by just stopping at the services and just closing your eyes for literally for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then having a good breath of fresh air and cracking on again. And I reckon I could keep going for 48 hours on that basis, as long as I stop every hour or two to do that. So there'll be plenty of time to stop back along the way and make sure that I'm safe and sound. But yeah, right, okay, I'm going to wind it up with that, my loves. Thank you so much for your company. As always, you're all absolute legends. Oh, and before I find the music to play you out to, I'm going to tell you the name. Bear with. There we are. Okay, the name. The name. Oh, good cup of coffee might help. Yeah, absolutely. If there's McDonald's along the way, I might treat myself to a nice cup of coffee. I don't think I'm going to take a flask of coffee. Maybe I should take one for the morning, but I probably won't. I'll have my 2 coffees before I go, and that's all I normally have anyway. Maybe have one on the way home. Maybe treat myself. Okay, the name. Bear in mind that the car is coming from the Isle of Wight. Now, there is a name that the Isle of Wightians, or whatever they're called, call the people from the mainland. And I thought that name would be particularly appropriate for this car. But it's also a name that's got a bit of, that's kind of known at the moment, because there is a current pop group or duo or whatever you call acts these days, who have taken exactly the same name because they're from the Isle of Wight. And that is my idea for the name for the car. And the name is, unless any of you can think of a better idea, the name is going to be Wet Leg. Good night, my loves. See you tomorrow. Oh, God, I'm tired. Good night, my loves. least I haven't got to cook tonight. Dark porridge, baby. Too quiet to dance. Oh, a hidden comment. Well, come up with a better one, Jimmy. I reckon it's really appetite and current. Staff curry for supper with rice and roti. Oh, the wine! Aha! Good as gold. No problem. Not at all frozen. That's it. Night, loves. Have a great Sunday. See you tomorrow night, 11 o'clock.